Where is everyone? Ah, there's someone. Wonderful. All right. Hello, Hyde.
Hello, nice to meet you. Maybe
Hello.
this is the first time to see you.
And how are you today?
Fine, thank you. Today quite hot nowadays.
Nice.
Last week it was very cold, so we complained about that. But this week it's very hot, so we complained about that.
Yes, isn't that just the way it goes? Never happy. Where are you from?
I'm from Japan.
Japan. Wonderful. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you very much.
Cool. And Fabio, hello.
Hello, teacher. How
How
are
are
you?
you? I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Good, good. And where are you from?
I'm from Brazil, Rio de Janeiro.
Nice, wonderful. Nice to meet you. Welcome to class.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too.
Good. Ana Belén, hello.
Hello, Stephanie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good, good. Welcome to class.
Thank you.
And Adrian, hello.
Hello, Stephanie.
How are you today?
Well, I'm well. I'm really good.
Good, good. Where are you from?
I'm from Peru.
From Peru. Wonderful. It's very nice to meet you.
Thanks, same.
Great. And hello, Herman. How are you today?
Hi, Stephanie. I'm good, and you?
I'm good, thank you. Welcome to class.
Thank you.
And Sasha, hello. All right. He must have stepped away. I'm sure he'll be back. Okay, so we'll get started right away. This is a class on the future perfect and the future perfect continuous. Last weekend I did a couple of classes on the future perfect, and there were a lot of questions, and so I decided to do another session on future perfect, and we're going to add some future perfect continuous as well. And then later this weekend, I think on Sunday, I have 2 classes on the future perfect continuous alone. Oh, I see. Sasha, welcome, Sasha. How are you today?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. And Diego, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
Good. Wonderful. All right, so we're going to get started. I'm posting the link in the chats. We're going to use one of my favorite pages. It's called EnglishPage.com, and it's really a very good site for reviewing grammar, and it also has some exercises. So I like this website. I hope you find it useful. And of course, as always, if there are any questions along the way, please ask. Questions are excellent. So with that, let's go to English page. We're going to start with the future perfect, do an exercise with future simple versus future perfect, and then we'll look at the future perfect continuous. All right, so just to review the grammar of the future perfect, and it looks like there are 2 forms. Last week we really only focused on one. This is the most common future perfect form, will have done. But we will also see be going to have done. And this is just like with the simple future, sometimes we use will. I will go shopping later. and I am going to go shopping later. The form is always the same, either will have and the past participle, or be going to have and the past participle. So here's an example with will. You will have perfected your English by the time you come back from the US. We use the future perfect usually when we have two events in the future, and this tense helps put them in order. So here's one event, and that happens before this other event. Same with be going to. You are going to have perfected your English by the time you come back from the US. So this happens before this. And we connect the two actions with by the time. Sometimes instead of a second action, it will be a specific time. And we'll see examples of that as we go through the exercises. So to look at the uses, there are two major uses, like I just said, a completed action before something in the future. So an action that's in the future but is completed before something else in the future. And duration before something in the future. So an example of the first use. Actually, let's go through these together. I'll read the first one, and then I'll ask volunteers, or I'll call on you to read the other examples, and then to say what happens first. So by next November, I will have received my promotion. This is only one action, so I can't say what happens first. Just an example. So this is something in the future that will be completed by a time in the future. So our second example, do I have a volunteer who would like to read this second example for us?
Okay, I would like to.
Thank you, Herman. Go ahead.
By the time he gets home, she's going to have cleaned the entire house.
Good. And which event will happen first?
He gets home.
Well,
No. No, she's going to clean first.
Very good, excellent. And that's the confusing thing with this tense, is which comes first. Great, so the house will be cleaned and then he will get home. Great, thank you very much. And let's just move to the right, if that's okay. Sasha, will you take the second example?
Sure. I'm not going to have finished these tests by 3 o'clock.
Good, and this is a specific time frame, so not two actions. We can't say what's first. Good. Next example, going around. Adrian, will you read the next example, please?
Yes. Will she have learned enough Chinese to communicate before she moved to Beijing?
Very good, excellent. So in the question form, notice that the subject goes between will and have. And that's the same as a a simple future question. Good, thank you very much. Next example, Anna Belén, your turn.
By the time I finish this course, I will have taken 10 tests.
Good, and which event happens first in this example?
I will have taken 10 tests.
Yes, and then you'll finish the course. Great. Let's look at this one with Sam. Diego, will you read this example with Sam?
Sam is probably going to have completed the proposal by the time he leaves this afternoon.
Good. So what will happen first?
Completed.
Yes. Yep. So the proposal will be completed and then he will leave. Good. And our last one, it's another question, and it's using going to have instead of will have. And let's see, it is Fabio. Will you read this example, please?
Okay. How many countries are you going to have visited by the time you turn 50?
Great, great. And that's a specific time frame, so there's not really something that happens first. I guess this happens first.
Yeah, you need to visit the countries before. No?
Yeah, yes, yep. So this is, yeah, I guess this is kind of two events. Yeah, so the countries will be visited and then you will turn 50.
Yes.
Great, excellent. Thank you very much. With non-continuous verbs, which are verbs like be, they're state of being verbs. We won't go into that too much, but notice they can start in the recent past and they continue into the future. So in this example, I will have been in London for 6 months by the time I leave. This person might already be in London, or they may be going to London soon, and they're talking about a time in the future. All right, so are there any questions so far on the form or the uses? Great, so let's go to our first exercise. And this exercise will, you'll have to decide between the simple future and the future perfect. And there's no indication whether we'll use going to, so that's up to you if you want to use going to versus will. But they are little dialogues. So when it's your turn, read everything up until the first blank, and then fill in the blank, and then we'll move on to another person for each blank. If that makes sense. And let's start with Herman. It is your turn. Will you start us off with Margaret?
Okay. Do you think everything will be finished when I get back from the store? Continue?
Yes, go ahead up until the first blank here.
Okay, don't worry. By the time you get back, I will have picked up.
Yes, exactly. Very good. I will have picked up the living room. And next person, Sasha, will you continue for us?
Up the living room and have finished washing the dishes.
Good.
Everything will be perfect when your parents arrive.
Excellent. Very good. And I'd just like to note that when you're combining, it's not necessary to repeat will have. You can do just have, or you could delete it completely. Both are correct. So this could be, by the time you get back, I will have picked up the living room and finished washing the dishes. Or, I will have picked up the living room and will have finished washing the dishes. Or, I will have picked up the living room and have finished washing the dishes.
What is the more common? I guess just finished.
Yeah, I think this is most common. This is what I would say. I will have
Make
picked.
it more simple.
Yeah, yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Okay, got it.
great, good question. All right, next one, moving along. Adrian, your turn.
I hope so. They will arrive around 6 o'clock.
Very good. So our simple future there. Excellent. Ana Belén, next.
Everything have been spotless by the time they get here.
Anything? We need will. We definitely need will.
Okay. Will have been.
Will have been. Will have been. Let's see. Everything will have been spotless by the time I get there. This is actually going to be a simple future. Because being spotless, this is hard to explain. So it's going to be will be spotless because it's something that's continuing. It's not an action that's going to be finished. Even though we have by the time they get here, being spotless doesn't have a start or an end.
Okay. I understand now.
Great. Thank you. And let me we can check. No, we'll wait till the end. Good. Great job, everyone. We'll continue to the next one. Diego, your turn.
Okay. I just have 2 more courses before I graduate from university. By the time next year, I will graduated and will already be looking for a job.
Good.
Okay.
Good. Yep. Good. I will have graduated. Great. And Stacy says, "Does that scare you? Are you worried about the future?" And next up, Fabio, your turn.
Not really. I'm going to career simple future.
Yeah. So I will go, or I'm going to go.
I'm going to go. I will go. I will go to career counselor and get some advice on how to find a good job.
Good. And this actually might be am going to go. I'm not sure on this one. The difference between will and going to is a vague or an unclear difference. I think this is correct. It might be going to, though. I am going to go to a career counselor, or I will go to a career counselor. All right. Stacy says that's a good idea. And let's have Nick up to the first blank. Herman.
I am also going to do an internship so that when I leave school, I will.
Oh, this is a tough one.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Yeah, no rush. Take your time.
I will have not only completed.
Yes, excellent. I will have not only completed over 13 courses. Good. When we use these, The part of speech is slipping my mind right now. But when we use these, like already or yet, not only, they can really go anywhere. But the technically grammatically correct place is right here between the have and the past participle. So great. So I will have not only completed 13 business courses. And next, Sasha.
But I also work in the real world.
Okay, and we need will in there some way. Either the simple future or the future perfect.
But I will also work.
And it's in the, let's see, this one is going to be, I believe this will be our future perfect. Because we're talking about something that is not complete now, but will be complete at a different time in the future. So, but I will also have worked in the real world. Confusing one. Good. Any questions, anyone, on these two?
Yes, I wrote a question.
Yes.
Where is it? On the last one, it can be will not only have completed.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
It can also be I not only will have completed.
Okay.
So this can go at the start, it can go between will and have, but grammar books will tell you to put it between have and completed.
Okay.
Native speakers put it anywhere. Even at the end, it could be I will have completed not only over 13 business courses, but I also will have worked in the real world.
Okay, thanks.
Good. Great question. All right, dialogue 3, and it is Adrian's turn.
Okay. Did you hear that Christine will be taking a vacation in South America this winter?
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
Did you hear that Christine will be taking a vacation in South America this winter?
Excellent, great. And next up, Ana Belén.
I can't believe how often she goes abroad. Where exactly does she want to go? She is going to visit Peru, Bolivia, and Ecuador.
Good, great. Excellent. And Diego, the last one for number 3.
Okay. At this rate, she we have been every country in the world by the time she's 50. Been?
We could say been to, but they want you to use visit instead of be.
Pardon. Okay. We have visited.
Yes, excellent, great. Very good. All right, dialogue 4. We've got a lot of reading before the first one. And it is Fabio's turn.
Okay. How long have you been in Miami? I have only been here for a couple of weeks. How long do you plan on staying? I love Miami, so I will stay here. I will have stay or
This will be simple, the simple future. So just will with the base verb.
I will stay. I will stay here.
Great, great, excellent, perfect. And the next one. Herman, your turn.
When I go back home, I will be here. I will have been here.
Yeah, for more than 3 months. Good, excellent. And the last one for this dialogue, Sasha.
Wow, that's a quite vacation. Um, you will have definitely seen just about everything there is to see in Miami by then.
Great, great, excellent. And definitely is just like not only in the other example. Definitely can go in front of will. It can go between will and have. This is the technically correct spot. It could also go at the end. Native speakers put it everywhere. Great. And the next one, Adrian, your turn again.
Okay. I can't believe how late we are. By the time we get to the diner, everyone will have will have finished eating. Oh, we have already finished eating.
Yes, great. And again, already can go at the front, it can go between, it can go after. Great. And the next section, Ana Belén.
It's your own fault. You look way too long in the bathroom. I couldn't get my hair to look right. Who cares? By the time we get there, everyone will have left.
Perfect, great. And the last sentence, Diego.
Okay. Mm, um, nobody, uh, nobody will have even seen.
This one's going to be the simple future.
Ah, okay. We'll see.
Yeah. You'll even see.
Okay.
And this one, the even has to go between the two. Not flexible
Okay.
like the others. Great. Okay, let's check, and I'm sure we'll have a couple of errors just because we always do, it seems. Okay, so we're going to go back. There are some mistakes, and I think some of the mistakes might be between using will instead of going to. So looking here, I will go to a career. What's the other simple future form?
I'm going to go.
Yeah, I am going to go. I am going to go to a career counselor. Great. Let's see this one. So going to do an internship so that when I leave school, I'm not sure on this one. This I figured was right. I will have completed. Let's try moving this. Maybe it's not correct there. Let's try putting it at the end. Let's check those two quick. Nope. Anyone have any ideas for this one? Leave school. Let's try moving this here. Maybe they want it here. The one drawback, they're very, very picky with, with the correct answers for these, which I guess is a good thing. Yes, there it is. Okay, so maybe the correct place is between will and have rather than have and completed. I apologize. All right, let's see. This one, definitely we want the simple future. What is the other form of the simple future?
Is going to take him.
Yes, going to. It's going to be I think this might be is going to take. And this, again, we're still in the simple future. What would the other form be here?
You missed the visit. It's going to.
Oh, that's what it is. Oh, my fault. Sorry about that. Just check. Yep, great. Wonderful. And the next one. I love Miami, so I definitely.
Stay.
Yes, yep. So just the other form of our simple future. I'm going to stay here. Good. We usually use going to when we have like a definite plan. Going to is more certain than will. It can be one thing to remember. And does anyone have any ideas for this one?
Will definitely have.
Yeah. Yes, and that was my mistake there. It's between the will and the have that we're supposed to put these. Again, native speakers will put it anywhere. Great, so let's just check. Wonderful. All right, any questions on any of these so far? Great. Okay. So next we're going to just quickly look at the future perfect continuous. It's just like the future perfect, except we're talking about continuous or progressive actions. So we'll just take a moment to review. And again, it'll have two forms, one with will and one with going to, just like the future simple. And one important thing to remember, so sometimes in the simple future, we don't mix up will and going to. But with future perfect continuous, you can use will or going to and have the same meaning. So just one example, the form is will have been plus the present participle. That's the ing form of the verb. And this always stays the same. For example, you will have been waiting for more than 2 hours when her plane finally arrives. So we have will have been and the present participle. And so this is something that's ongoing, and there will often be a time reference in the sentence. Looking at the uses, very similar to future perfect. So duration before something in the future, a period of time before a future event, and it's an ongoing thing. Let's just read the examples quickly. First example, Fabio, will you take the first example?
Okay. They will have been talking for over an hour by the time Thomas arrives.
Good. So this is the ongoing action. It'll still be in progress when Thomas arrives. Notice that the other action is in the simple present. Good. Great. Thank you very much. And Herman, will you take the next?
She's going to have been working at the company for 3 years when it finally closes.
Excellent, good. Again, we have a time reference and something that is continuing into the future when something else happens. Great. Oops. Next one, Sasha.
James will have been teaching at the university for more than a year by the time he leaves for Asia.
Excellent, great. Excellent. Question form, Adrian.
How long will you have been studying when you graduate?
Good, great. So notice when we make the question, we put the subject in between will and have. And the next one, Ana Belén.
We are going to have been driving for over 3 days straight when we get to Anchorage.
Good, great, good. So something ongoing in the future at another time or event in the future. Good. And the last one, Diego.
When you finish your English course, will you have been living in New Zealand for over a year? No, I will not have been living here that long.
Excellent, great. Good. So notice when we have the negative form, the not goes in between will and have. The same place we should put definitely and not only and already. Great. The second use is when there is a cause of something in the future. So we have a future event or action, and we use the future perfect continuous to talk about the cause of that. So just a slightly different meaning. And Fabio, will you read this example, please?
Okay. Jason will be tired when he gets home because he will have been jogging for over an hour.
Good, yep. So this is causing this future event, and they're linked with because. Great.
Okay.
And next one, Germán.
Claudia's English will be perfect when she returns to Germany because she is going to have been studying English in the United States for over 2 years.
Great, excellent. Are there any questions at this point?
Yes, the sentence, how long will you have been studying when you graduate? When, in this case, it's the same like by the time you graduate? When?
Yes, yep. Yes, it does. Very good question. So you could replace when with by the time you graduate. How long will you have been studying by the time you graduate? Great, really good question. Any other questions?
Yes, I have one. But not about the verb. The last sentence, when you finish your English course, you have been living in New Zealand for over a year. In the answer, he said, no, I will not have been living here that long. Why here, not there? I don't understand this.
So he must already be in New Zealand. So if he weren't in New Zealand yet, let's say he's from England, and he is planning to go to New Zealand, then he would say there. But because it says here, we know that this person is already in New Zealand.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
really good question. Great. Good, good. Any other questions? All right, so let's just really quickly look at the difference here between the future continuous will be going, and the future perfect continuous. And it's kind of a simple difference, but it's important. So if you do not include a duration of time, such as for 5 minutes or 2 weeks or since Friday, you'll often use the future continuous rather than the future perfect continuous. And that can change the meaning of the sentence. The future continuous emphasizes interrupted actions. So actions that are ongoing but then are interrupted by something, whereas future perfect continuous emphasizes the duration of time. So depending on what you want to emphasize, you'll need to decide between the future continuous and the future perfect. If the duration of time is important, use the future perfect continuous. So here's 2 examples that show the difference. He will be tired because he will be exercising so hard. So there's no time, there's no duration of time here. The emphasis, will be on him being tired. But in this example, which again doesn't have a duration of time, he will be tired because he will have been exercising so hard. The phrase here indicates a length of time. So it's not a huge difference, but it is different. A native speaker will understand these 2 sentences a little bit differently. So even though it doesn't express the period of time, we know from just the structure that there's a length of time involved. Are there any questions? All right, so let's go to some exercises with these. And in this one, you will choose between future perfect, will have gone, or the future perfect continuous, will have been going. All right, and so number 1, let's see, I think, is it, Herman, is it your turn?
I don't know.
I think it is. How about you start number 1?
Okay. By the time we get to Chicago this evening, we will have been driving for more than 400 miles. We're going to be exhausted.
This one's, let me think for a second here. We will have been driving. If this was a time, like we will have been driving more than 4 hours, then I think this would be right. But the emphasis here is on the action rather than the duration. So let's use, confusing. Let's use the future perfect. We will have driven. Yes. So at some point in the future, we have another completed action. It's not completed at this point, but it will be completed at a specific time in the future. So this will be a future perfect, not continuous. So what shall we change that to?
Okay, we'll have drove.
And this is an irregular past participle, so driven. Driven, good. I don't feel like I explained that very well. Any questions on this one? Good. All right. Great. Thank you very much, Herman. And number 2, Sasha.
when Sarah goes on vacation next month, she will be studying German for over 2 years.
Good. It is continuous, but it's got to be perfect continuous. So will.
I'm confused about this. I absolutely don't understand.
It is very confusing.
Very hard for me. In my language, we have only three times past, present, and future, and you have different in every kind.
Yes, yes.
Very hard for me.
You speak, is it Russian?
Yes, in Russia, just 3 times past, present, and future. That's it.
Yeah, that's the same. I'm here in the Czech Republic, and Czech is also a Slavic language, and so the Czech speakers struggle the same way. There are no perfect tenses, so it's really confusing. Much more confusing than for our Spanish speakers who do have perfect tenses.
With the past, present perfect, past perfect, for me it's okay. I have problem. I don't know why. Just only with future tenses.
Interesting. It is very confusing.
Just practice.
Yes, that's the key. But good. It is definitely continuous. So we just need have been. And you said studying, so we'll have been studying. And it is confusing, and it's difficult to explain as well. Just that the emphasis is on the time. Using the have there puts the emphasis on the time. Great. And let's see, number 3, Adrian.
I have not traveled much yet. However, I will have visited the Grand Canyon and San Francisco by the time I leave the United States.
Good. Will have visit or will have visited?
Visited.
Yeah, great. Didn't hear that. Excellent. Number 4, Ana Belén.
By the time you finish studying the verb tense tutorial, you will have mastered all 12 tenses, including their passive forms.
Correct. Even though this sentence is false, it takes much more time than just completing a tutorial to master all the tenses. But correct, very good. And number 5, Diego.
Okay, drive faster. If you don't hurry up, she will have I don't know, having? No.
Past participle of have?
Had.
Had, yeah. And that can always be confusing when we have the auxiliary have followed by the verb have, but that is correct. Good. She will have had the baby. And I haven't mentioned it yet, but just to bring it up, we do contract these forms in spoken English. So this would, in fast spoken English, this will sound like she will have had the baby by the time we get to the hospital. She will have had the baby.
Okay.
Good, great, thank you very much. And Fabio, number 6, please.
I came to England 6 months ago. I started my economics course 3 months ago. When I returned to Australia, I will have been studied for 9 months and continuous. I have been studied.
Studied or studying?
Continuous studying.
Yes, there we go. Very
Studying.
good. Great.
For 9 months, and I will have I will have been in English for exactly 1 year.
Great, excellent, very good. And number 7, Herman.
Margie just called and said she would be here at 8 o'clock. By the time she gets here, we will have been waiting for her 2 hours.
Yeah, good. Ongoing action in the future. Great. And number 8, Sasha.
Frank just changed jobs again. If he keeps this up, he will have changed jobs at least 4 or 5 times by the end of the year.
Excellent, very good. Perfect. And number 9, Adrian.
Come over to my house around 9 o'clock. By then, I will have completed my story essay and we can go see a movie.
Very good, excellent. And last one, number 10, Ana Belén.
In June, my grandmother and grandfather will have been married for 50 years.
Great, excellent. Now let's just check these. They all sound right to me, but again, native speakers are not perfect either. Ah, look at today. Everybody's perfect. Good job. Very nice. So it looks like you've mastered the future perfect forms. Great. Any questions on any of these? All right. Excellent. And with that, we don't have enough time to continue with that one, but this Sunday at what time? Well, I guess the time is different for everyone, but this Sunday I will be doing a 2-part lesson, so 2 hours with future perfect continuous, and it might also be helpful for future perfect, and that is all I have for you for now. Thank you very much for your participation, your excellent questions, and I hope to see you all in the very near future.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephanie. Take care.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. See you.
Bye bye.